My name's Jay and welcome to the Daily Ride. Today I'm going to go through my everyday toolkit carry for those times when I'm either not on an overnight bikepacking trip or on a longer tour. So let's get straight to it and let's see what I have right in front of me on the table. Let's start off with a pump because you're going to need air. I actually love this little pump here. I carry it if I'm ever using one of my road bikes. I've had smaller pumps, but this kind of does the job. It's easy if I'm wearing this kind of jersey just to pop in the back. Like my other larger pump, which I use if I'm not on one of my road bikes, I do put tape on the or around the pump, and I find it very, very useful. I know some of you prefer canisters, and I get that, but I just can't get on with them. I kind of don't trust them almost, or I think that's wrong. I probably don't trust myself. I know people do like them, they are quick and much easier than using a pump if you've got the technique, but for whatever reason I always seem to mess up, so I just use a good old-fashioned pump here. The other thing I carry always a couple of zip ties. They can get you out of all kinds of problems. They're nice and light, they don't take up hardly any space, so I'd advise you to take a couple of zip ties. You'd be surprised how useful they can actually be. If you take a look at this video here, this was actually taken when I was on a longer tour and I managed to repair a broken pedal with just a couple of zip ties. So yeah, they can get you out of a tricky situation and back on the road. I'd always advise you to carry a couple of zip ties. The other thing, I carry inner tube. My general approach to a puncture, and this is for non-tubeless setup when I'm using tubes, I do carry a spare tube because I think if I do get a puncture, so much easier to take the old one out, put the new one in. I keep the old tube, I just stick it in the back of my jersey or in a bag somewhere, but I tend to repair my old inner tube once I get to where I'm staying for the night, or when I get back home, when you're not so stressed out and you've got a little bit more time. As well as carrying a spare inner tube, I also carry a puncture repair outfit consisting of a few different items. I've got the good old style patches with glue, always highly effective, but I actually do like these super patch GP2s from Park Tools because they're just literally a peel off, stick on, no glue, no mess, and I probably use these more. Maybe if I'm going on a longer trip, I'll use the older style patches. I think these are probably a little bit more durable, but on the whole I'll probably go for these Park Tool patches in the first instance. Another thing I carry from Park Tools is this Tyre Boot in case there's a big rip in the tyre. You can see that's looking pretty manky, pretty old, and that's because I've never used it yet. So how effective it actually is, I honestly can't tell you, but it's there, looking old, looking tired, but it looks like the integrity's still there, it's still intact, so I'm going to keep carrying that because the day I stop carrying this, that's probably the day I'm going to need it. Only 2 items left now because this is a really compact kit, but if you do have a puncture, you're going to have to take off the tyre. Now, with some tyres you can actually do it with your hands. There are ways to do that, but I think it's always a good idea to carry a couple of reliable Tyre levers, which I have here. The final thing I take is this simple hex multi-tool. I don't have anything else on it. There's no ability to split the chain, anything like that, because I don't take a spare link with me. The chance of a chain break is pretty small, and if I take a spare quick link, I'm also going to have to take a chain splitter, which I really don't want to do. I keep this as small, compact as possible so it's easy to carry around, and let's face it, on a day ride it's unlikely you're going to go in the middle of nowhere. I have my phone with me. I'm going to be able to call help from someone in the highly unlikely scenario when I can't actually get back home. That did happen once actually, and of course it was at the furthest point of my ride. It was a 80k ride. I got 40k's in, had a coffee, turned around, came back, and my chain did actually snap, so I could have done with a chain breaker and a quick link. However, someone going the same way, they saw me pushing my bike, they had a pickup, they gave me a lift all the way home. So there we have it, guys. That's my everyday carry toolkit. I know it's not comprehensive, but I think in 99.9% of occasions it's going to get you back on the road and get you home. The only thing I think that I could include, and I've sort of mentioned it, is maybe a quick link and a chain splitter, but I just choose not to on those day rides. I hope that's been helpful, and as ever, if you've made it to the end, it'd be great if you could help me out by liking and subscribing. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.